Hi, this is Shui with a review of a shoe brand that I've never heard of before, but they contacted me, sent me a sample to review. I wasn't paid, but they allowed me to say whatever I want. I asked them, is it okay if I bash it if I don't like it? And they were cool with it. So here I am reviewing the FitVille Rebound Core. It's supposedly a walking shoe. They tried to make running shoes, but all in all, their shoe is more about comfort, and I think it's mainly for those who need to walk around or stand around for a prolonged period of time, possibly for people who are a little bit more on the heavy side. The toe box area, the top of this tongue area, it's super high, and the width is pretty wide, so you're not gonna get a lot of lockdown with this shoe. The purpose of the shoe is to have a lot of breathing space around your foot. So if I would say you can go true to size to experience the roominess of the shoe. It's not like it runs especially long. So the good thing about the width and the space is that the midsole and the forefoot is very wide. So you will have, with this added chunk of midsole area, it's definitely providing extra lateral stability there. Anti-inversion locking mechanism, I guess. They have a dual density foam. They call it the recovery core foam. The heel and the forefoot, they get the job done. There's a decent heel to toe drop, and the forefoot, you can feel it. The heel, you can feel it. The comfort is there, and it won't let you just sink like crazy like some of those homogeneous midsole foam, which is just too soft on the heel and too rigid on the forefoot. So in that sense, they've done a phenomenal job. It feels like the kind of carefully researched and planned cushioning that we get from fresh foam baseball shoes or basketball shoe for New Balance, and the Peak Tai Chi or Pea Soon foam materials that they use in the Flash 2 or the Underground 2, which was phenomenal. So you're getting that kind of performance cushioning in this obscure brand shoe. Cushioning is good. Even I might even say great. You could go running in them, but again, the fit is a bit of an issue. They do not have a tight heel cup, but again, the purpose of the shoe is comfort more than performance. So if you were to have a tight heel counter or some kind of a clutching system that might fit some people, but it might scrape into or chafe into someone else's heel, that's not I guess that does not live up to the standards that FitVille has set for itself, all about comfort. So they do have this ring concept around the lower part of the heel to provide that additional lockdown without any discomfort of it cutting into your skin. Overall, the padding is super thick and plush. There's a thick foam with sort of a stretchy neoprene material and also a fabric around it. The tongue is also very thick and breathable. The upper material, they say, is genuine leather, which is something we don't get in a lot of shoes out there. I personally am not a connoisseur of leather material for uppers for shoes. I'm mostly about the traction, the cushioning, and the fit, and the foam material or the technology they use. So I cannot give a very strong comment about the superiority of the genuine leather upper. That's something you're gonna have to try it yourself, or if you're accustomed to using or wearing genuine leather shoes, then this is something you might go for. If you're sick and tired of fake leather, faux leather, Nubug, Durabug, or plastic material that's set out to look like leather, I guess this would be a welcome change. It does not run overly long, so you can go true to size, but once again, it's about comfort. So there's going to be a lot of space on top of your foot, and especially the width, there's going to be plenty of room there. But it's not crazy excessive. It's just enough to provide a little breathing space. They do come in normal size and double wide, but their double wide is probably 3 times wider than most other brands, so that's something you might want to keep in mind. The outsole is something that they take tremendous pride in. They have these outsole around this little C around the shoe. Everything else is exposed foam, So they provide lightweightness. They help reduce the weight. So it weighs about 370 grams for a size 9. That's not too bad. And the most important fact is that it feels lighter than what the digits show. The rubber they use is a special compound. It's a little bit more tacky. It's a little bit more grippy. It's a little bit more sticky than your average rubber. It's not about providing resistance or bite on dusty quartz, because it's not a performer. It's about let's say you're wearing this to work. You might be walking around in cement floors that might be slippery or greasy. So this actually provides good grip and tackiness on wet surfaces. So good for rainy days or wet workplaces, or strolls around the neighborhood when the floors are wet. The rubber is certainly something different from what I've experienced from other shoes. So they've really put a lot of effort and research into this. Interesting thing about the website is they only have a handful of models, and they've been selling the same models for the past 3 to 4 years. I think 3 years. And yeah, I guess in some sense you go to restaurants and you have all this amazing offers and options, and none of them taste great. Some of the better restaurants, they have just 1 or 2 menus and they only focus on that, and the quality never goes down and they never disappoint. So in that sense, maybe that's what FitVille goes for. Interestingly, the company, I believe, is American, but the factory is in China, so it came from a rather shabby packaging from China, I guess straight from their factory. But it did take a while for them to get them to Korea. So delivery, I guess, it's going to test your patience a little bit. Something you might want to keep in mind. It costs about $90, so I won't say it's the cheapest shoes out there, especially when it's not a performer. It's a comfort and leisure shoe. Again, the midsole is pretty amazing. It feels comparable to Fresh Foam or the P-Soon or the Tai Chi foam that's used in the Flash 2. So if they have a different fit, different type of upper for performance, it might be actually better. It might be interesting. But for now, this is a comfort shoe to provide breathability and a lot of space in case your foot swells up during work because you're standing around for prolonged periods. So this is definitely, I'm sure this has a market for a select group of individuals who are craving or have been waiting for a shoe like this. The insole, interestingly, is sort of like a Ortholite. It doesn't say so, so I won't say it's Ortholite, but it feels pretty much like the genuine Ortholite. The interesting part is that they have an extra thicker padding on the heel and it's slimmer on the forefoot. So even without the insole, it's got a clear heel to toe drop, and with the insole, the cushioning itself is enhanced. The comfort and the smooth transition is also upgraded with the insole. And even if you wear this without the insole, you can actually feel the kind of cushioning that you would get from performance shoes that feature some of their premier cushioning technology. So I am pleasantly surprised. But again, once again, not a performer. It's for people with, large foot, or for people who like a lot of space between their shoe and their foot and their toes. The problem is they don't have a store in Korea, or in, I don't know which country you might be watching from. So if you're not able to purchase them or try them out directly, if I were to include the shipping prices from the factory in China or to the States to Korea, it's probably going to cost as much as the shoe itself if I were to ship it back for a refund or a switch to a different size. So that's a bit of a hassle. But if you're thinking about wearing something roomy, if you don't mind having some space, certainly a shoe worth trying, because this is a brand I've never heard of before that actually has been doing their homework, providing pretty surprisingly superior cushioning with the foam material they use for the midsole.